Hello and welcome back to Learn English with Mona. I'm Mona, and today we're going to talk about how to speak English fluently and confidently without fear. Have you ever known the answer in your head, but when it was time to speak, your voice disappeared? Maybe someone asked you a simple question. How was your weekend? What do you think? Can you explain this? And suddenly your English felt small, your mind became empty, your heart started beating faster. You smiled, nodded, or said one short sentence because you were afraid of making a mistake. If this has happened to you, listen carefully. You are not stupid, you are not lazy, your English is not broken, you are afraid because speaking is different from studying. Studying feels safe. You can read alone, you can listen alone, you can pause a video, you can check a word, you can take your time, but speaking happens in real life. Someone is looking at you. Someone is waiting for your answer. You feel pressure, you feel watched. And when fear enters the room, your English often leaves the room. That is why many learners understand English better than they speak it. They know words, they know grammar, they watch videos, they read sentences. But when a real conversation begins, they feel blocked. Today, we are going to fix this step by step. Not with magic, not with perfect grammar, not with difficult words. We are going to build the skill that confident speakers use every day. Staying calm, using simple phrases, and continuing even when the sentence is not perfect. The first thing you need to understand is this: confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes after speaking. Many learners wait. They say, "I will speak when I feel ready." But this is the trap. You do not become confident by waiting. You become confident by trying, making small mistakes, surviving those mistakes, and realizing, oh, I can still continue. Think about exercise. If you want stronger legs, you cannot only watch videos about squats. You have to move, you have to feel uncomfortable, you have to repeat. Your muscles get stronger because you use them. Speaking English is the same. Your mouth, your brain, and your confidence need training. So stop asking, when will I feel ready? Ask a better question. What small sentence can I say today? This small change is powerful. Maybe today you do not provide a long answer. Maybe today you only say, "That's a good question, let me think for a second." That is not failure, that is speaking. Maybe today you do not explain everything perfectly. Maybe you say, "I'm still learning English, so I may need a little more time." That is not a weakness, that is confidence. Maybe today you do not know the exact word. Maybe you say, "I don't know the exact word, but I mean." That is not bad English, that is communication. Fluent speakers are not people who never make mistakes. Fluent speakers are people who know how to keep going. This is the first secret: do not try to speak perfectly. Try to stay in the conversation. When you focus on perfection, every sentence feels dangerous. You think, what if my grammar is wrong? What if my pronunciation is bad? What if they laugh? What if I forget the word? Your brain becomes busy with fear. It cannot focus on communication. But when you focus on connection, your goal changes. You are not trying to impress people. You are trying to share a message. You can say, "I went to the store yesterday." You can say, "Yesterday I go to the store." The second sentence has a mistake, but people still understand your meaning. And when people understand your meaning, communication happens. Of course, you should improve your grammar. Of course, a pronunciation matters, but do not let small mistakes stop you from speaking. A mistake is not the end of the conversation. Silence is often the real problem. Now let's talk about fear. Fear usually comes from one thought: people will judge me. But here is the truth. Most people are not judging your English as much as you think. They are trying to understand you. They are thinking about their own day, their own work, their own problems, and their own answers. You may feel like every mistake is huge, but to the other person, it is often just a small moment. Imagine someone is learning your language. They try to speak. They make a mistake. Do you hate them? Do you think they are stupid? Probably not. You may even respect them because they are trying. So give yourself the same kindness. When you speak English, you are doing something brave. You are taking thoughts from your mind and building them in another language. That is not easy. You should not feel ashamed because it takes time. Instead of saying, "My English is bad," say, "I'm still learning English." Repeat that, "I'm still learning English." Now make it stronger. "I'm still learning English, but I'm improving every day." That sentence changes your energy. It does not make you perfect, but it makes you respectful toward yourself, and self-respect matters. If you speak about yourself like you are failing, your confidence becomes smaller. But if you speak like you are learning, your confidence has space to grow. Now let's build your speaking system. When learners feel fear, they often try to create a full sentence quickly. They want to answer immediately, but their brain needs time, so the first tool you need is a time phrase. A time phrase gives your brain a few seconds. Say this, "Let me think for a second." Repeat, "Let me think for a second." This phrase is simple but very powerful. Someone asks, "What do you think about this idea?" Instead of freezing, say, "That's a good question. Let me think for a second." Now you have time, you are still in the conversation. The other person knows you are thinking, not ignoring them. You can also say, "Give me a moment. I need a second to think. Let me try to explain." These phrases are small bridges. They carry you from fear to speech. The next tool is a clarification phrase. Sometimes you feel afraid because you did not understand the question. Many learners pretend, they smile, they nod, they answer something random. Then the conversation becomes more stressful. Do not pretend, ask for help. Say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Repeat, "Sorry, could you say that again?" You can also say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." Or, "Could you speak a little more slowly?" These phrases do not make you look weak, they make you look clear, calm, and serious about understanding. A confident speaker does not pretend to understand everything. A confident speaker knows how to ask again. Now let's talk about when you know the idea but you do not know the exact word. This moment is very common. You want to say one word, it disappears. Then you stop completely, but you do not need one perfect word to continue. You can describe the idea. Say, "I don't know the exact word, but I mean." Repeat, "I don't know the exact word, but I mean." For example, you forget the word umbrella. You can say, "I don't know the exact word, but I mean the thing you use when it rains." The other person will understand. They may say umbrella, then you say, "Yes, umbrella." That is how you learn in real life. You can also use, "How do you say this in English?" Or, "What's the word for this?" These are not beginner phrases. These are survival phrases. They help you keep moving. Now let's fix another common problem, short answers. Many learners answer with one word because they are afraid. Someone asks, "How was your weekend?" They say, "Good," then silence. The conversation dies and the learner thinks, "I am not fluent." But the problem is not only fluency. The problem is that the answer is too short. To speak more naturally, use the simple three-step answer. Answer, add one detail, ask back. For example, "How was your weekend?" You say, "It was good. I stayed home and watched a movie. How about you?" It is simple, natural, and friendly. Let's try another one. "Do you like living here?" You say, "Yes, I like it. The city is busy, but there are many opportunities. What about you?" Notice that you do not need difficult English. You just need to keep the door open. Answer, add one detail, ask back. This one pattern can make your English sound much more fluent. Now let's talk about speaking without fear in daily situations. Imagine you are in a cafe. The cashier asks, "What can I get for you?" Your old fear says, "Say it quickly, don't make a mistake." But your new system says, "Stay calm, use a simple phrase." You say, "Could I have a coffee, please?" The cashier asks, "For here or to go?" You do not hear clearly. You say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" The cashier repeats. You say, To go, please, that is real English. It is not complicated, but it works. It helps you live your life. Now imagine you are at work. Someone explains something quickly. You understand half of it, but not everything. Before, you stayed quiet because you did not want to look confused. This time you say, "I'm not sure I understood. Could you explain that in a different way?" That sentence is confident. It shows that you care about understanding correctly. If they ask you a question and you are not sure, say, "I don't want to give you the wrong answer. Let me check." That sounds professional, much better than panicking or saying, "I don't know," with fear in your voice. Now imagine you are with friends, everyone is talking fast. You want to join, but you feel invisible. You do not need to jump in with a perfect story. Start small. Say, "Oh, really? That sounds interesting. I know what you mean. Can I ask you something?" These small reaction phrases help you enter the conversation. They show that you are listening, they give you a place in the group. Many learners think fluency means talking for a long time, but natural conversation is not one person speaking forever. Natural conversation is reaction, reply, question, and connection. If you can react, you can participate. If you can ask a simple question, you can continue. If you can say, "Tell me more about that," you can keep the conversation alive. Now let's talk about pronunciation fear. Many learners are afraid because they think their accent is bad. Please remember this: having an accent does not mean your English is bad. Everyone has an accent. The goal is not to erase who you are. The goal is to be clear. Clear English is more important than perfect English. To improve clarity, read out loud every day. Do not only read with your eyes. Your mouth needs training. Choose a short paragraph. Read it slowly. Feel the words in your mouth. Notice where your breath stops. Notice which words are difficult. Try this sentence: "I'm still learning English, but I'm getting better every day." Say it slowly. "I'm still learning English, but I'm getting better every day." Now say it again with confidence. "I'm still learning English, but I'm getting better every day." This kind of practice builds a connection between your brain and your mouth. When you only read silently, you recognize words. But when you read out loud, you train speaking muscles. Your voice becomes more familiar with English. Your mouth becomes less afraid of the sounds. Now let's talk about another fear: being too slow. Many learners believe fluent English must be fast English. That is not true. Speaking fast with stress is not better than speaking slowly with clarity. If you speak slowly but clearly, people can understand you. If you rush and panic, your words may become messy. So give yourself permission to slow down, use pauses, say one idea at a time. For example, instead of trying to say a long sentence quickly, say, "I think it is a good idea." Pause, "but we need more time." Pause, "Maybe we can discuss it tomorrow." That sounds clear, that sounds calm, that sounds confident. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is flow. Flow means your ideas move from one sentence to the next. They do not have to be fast, they have to be connected. You can build flow with simple connectors. Use, first, also, but, so, for example, that's why. These words help your listener follow your ideas. Let's try an example. First, "I think English is important for work. Also, it helps me meet new people. But sometimes I feel nervous when I speak, so I practice a little every day. That's why I feel more confident now." This is not advanced, but it is organized, and organized English sounds fluent. Now let's talk about mistakes. You will make mistakes. There is no way around it. You may say the wrong tense. You may forget an article. You may pronounce a word incorrectly. You may stop in the middle of a sentence. That is normal. The important question is not, "How can I avoid every mistake?" The better question is, "How can I recover after a mistake?" Here are useful recovery phrases. Say, "Let me say that again." Repeat, "Let me say that again." Or, "Sorry, or, let me explain it another way." These phrases are powerful because they keep you in control. For example, you say, "Yesterday I go to the store." Then you notice the mistake. You can say, "Sorry, I mean yesterday I went to the store." Simple, calm, no drama. You do not need to apologize 10 times. You do not need to feel embarrassed for the rest of the day. Correct it if you can and continue. Confidence is not speaking without mistakes. Confidence is making a mistake, taking a breath, and continuing anyway. Now let's build a daily routine for fearless speaking. Do not make it too complicated. If your routine is too difficult, you will stop. Start with 10 minutes. For the first 2 minutes, read out loud. Choose a short text and speak slowly. For the next 3 minutes, repeat useful phrases. Say, "Let me think for a second." "Sorry, could you say that again?" "I'm not sure, but I can check." "I don't know the exact word, but I mean." "I'm still learning English, but I'll try." For the next 3 minutes, answer simple questions. Ask yourself, how was your day? What did you eat today? What is something you want to improve? Answer with the 3-step pattern. Answer. Add one detail. Ask back even if you are practicing alone. For the last 2 minutes, record your voice. Do not judge yourself harshly. Just listen for one thing to improve. Maybe you need to slow down. Maybe one word is unclear. Maybe your voice is too quiet. Choose one improvement, not 10. Small daily practice is better than one long practice once a month. Now let's talk about emotional strength. Some days you will feel good. Your words will come easily. You will think, "I am improving." Other days, your English will feel heavy. You will forget simple words. You will feel slow. You may think, "I am going backward." Do not trust that feeling too quickly. Learning is not a straight line. It goes up and down. A bad speaking day does not mean you lost your English. It means your brain is tired, stressed, or under pressure. Even in your native language, some days you explain things better than other days. So do not quit because of one bad conversation. One bad conversation is not your whole English journey. The next conversation can be better. The next sentence can be clearer. The next attempt can feel easier. You need to become the kind of learner who continues after discomfort, because fear becomes smaller when you face it in small, safe steps. Do not start by trying to speak for 30 minutes with a native speaker if that terrifies you. Start by saying one sentence out loud, then 2 sentences, then one small conversation at a store, then one question at work, then one voice message, then one short conversation with a friend. Confidence grows when your brain collects proof. Proof that you can speak. Proof that mistakes do not destroy you. Proof that people can understand you. Proof that your voice is allowed to take space. Now let's practice a small confident speaking moment. Imagine someone asks you, "Why do you want to improve your English?" First, give yourself time. "That's a good question. Let me think for a second." Now answer simply. "I want to improve my English because it helps me in daily life." Add one detail. "I want to speak better at work and feel more comfortable in conversations." Add a feeling. "Sometimes I feel nervous, but I am practicing every day." Now finish with confidence. "My English is not perfect, but I am improving." Listen to that full answer. "That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I want to improve my English because it helps me in daily life. I want to speak better at work and feel more comfortable in conversations. Sometimes I feel nervous, but I am practicing every day. My English is not perfect, but I am improving." That is a strong answer. It is clear. It is honest. It is human. You can use this structure for many questions. Give yourself time. Answer simply. Add one detail. Add a feeling. Finish clearly. This is how you stop fearing every question. You do not need to invent a perfect answer in 1 second. You can build the answer step by step. Now let's look at the biggest mindset shift. Your English is not a performance. It is a tool. When you think English is a performance, every conversation feels like a test. You feel judged, you feel tense, you feel afraid. But when you understand that English is a tool, you use it to ask, explain, connect, order, help, learn, and live. A tool does not need to be beautiful every time. It needs to work. If your sentence works, respect it. If your message is understood, celebrate it. If you spoke today when you wanted to stay silent, that is progress. Do not wait until you sound like someone else. Your voice matters now. Speak with the English you have today and keep building the English you want tomorrow. You may still feel fear. That is okay. Confidence does not mean fear disappears completely. Confidence means you speak while fear is there. Your voice may shake, but you speak. Your sentence may be simple, but you speak. Your grammar may not be perfect, but you speak. And every time you speak, fear loses a little power. So the next time someone asks you a question in English, do not run away inside your mind. Breathe. Use a starter phrase. Say, "Let me think for a second." Ask for repetition if you need it. Say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Explain around the word if you forget it. Say, "I don't know the exact word, but I mean." And if you make a mistake, continue. Say, "Let me say that again." This is how you become fluent and confident without fear, not by waiting for perfect English, but by learning how to continue with imperfect English. Your English grows when you choose one sentence instead of silence. Your confidence grows when you try again after a mistake. Your fluency grows when you practice speaking, not only studying. So please remember this: you do not need to be fearless before you speak. You become less afraid because you speak. Start small, speak slowly, use simple phrases. Keep going. One day, the situation that scares you now will feel normal. The question that makes you freeze today will become easy. The voice that feels quiet now will become stronger. And when that happens, you will be proud that you did not give up. Save this lesson, practice the sentences out loud, and tell me in the comments, what makes you feel afraid when you speak English? Thank you for being here with me at Learn English with Mona. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember this: your English does not need to be perfect to be powerful. It only needs your voice.